What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another video here on Play on GAA with me, Seamus Brady. In this video, I'm going to be giving my preview of all the action that's going to be taking place over the coming weekend on the 11th and of the 12th of June 2022. We have action taking place in the All-Ireland Football Championship. We have action taking place in the All-Ireland Hurling Championship. And we have action taking place in the Ladies Gaelic Football Championship, as well as two games in the minor football championship as well. But before I get into the full preview, guys, you know the deal. Like, subscribe, share, comment, whatever. Really helps us out. And yeah, let's get into the preview here. So first game taking place on Saturday in the men's football championship is Clare against Roscommon. That's throwing in at 3:45. Of course, Clare were dumped out of the Munster Championship on penalties by Limerick in that Munster quarter-final. Roscommon, on the other hand, of course, they were knocked out in the Connacht in the Connacht final by Galway. They lost that game. Clare, on the other hand, of course, bounced back, got a good victory against Meath there the last day out, won by 111 to 1-9, condemning Andy McEntee to getting the chop. I know he stepped down, but I think he would have been pushed out either way. But Clare playing against Roscommon in this game, it's a very interesting one because Clare obviously had the tough result against Limerick and being knocked out of the Munster Championship way earlier than they would have wanted to be. And then they built up a bit of steam there by getting revenge on Meath, who of course beat them in the league. It's a really hard one to know with Clare. It's really hard to know where they're at. Obviously you still have the likes of Owen Cleary in there. David Tubridy's still doing the business for Clare there after all these years. They've got some real talent, the likes of Emma McMahon coming through, who obviously played with UL. Like, they've got some really, really top class players. But Roscommon, in my mind, regardless of the Galway defeat, they're on another level, in my opinion, to Clare. Without being disrespectful to Clare, I just think Roscommon are that good this year. I gave full credit to Galway for beating them in the Connacht final. I think Roscommon have been brilliant. They were the only side across all four divisions in the Allianz League that were undefeated. Their defence has been brilliant. Their attack has been electric throughout. I mean, the fact that they're able to bring on the likes of Jim Murta, who constantly seems to hit the back of the net whenever he comes off the bench. It says that, look, they've got some serious strength and depth this year. They're playing 6 out-and-out forwards, the likes of Carl Heenahan, the likes of Conor Cox. It's a lot for the Clare backs to pick up. The Clare defenders have been playing really well lately. Kieran Russell made it into the team of the week at centre-back. He's really impressed me. They've got the likes of Keane O'Dea back there. So, look, Clare are strong. Make no mistake about it. Clare are very strong. And especially the fact that Roscommon have to go away from home. It's going to be a tough day out for them, and definitely a banana skin. But I think this is the type of game where Roscommon win it by about 4 or 5 points. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Roscommon to win this game by about 4 or 5 points. Not anything to do with Clare not being good enough. Just Roscommon have really turned the corner this year. They look a lot better. Then moving on to the second game on this Saturday, Mayo against Kildare at 6 o'clock, a rematch of the famous 2018 game, which was Newbridge or nowhere. Of course, this time it is not in Newbridge. Mayo have the home advantage for this game. Mayo against Kildare. Look, straight up, I think Mayo are going to win. I can't get it out of my head how vulnerable Kildare were at the back in that game against Dublin. They just looked like they were going to get taken to the cleaners every time. Look, right now, Mayo's full forward line, in my opinion, is nowhere near as dangerous as Dublin's is. They're missing Ryan O'Donoghue. They're missing Tommy Conroy. Those two players would level up that forward line so much. Look, they still have the likes of James Carr, Killian O'Connor. So they're still definitely dangerous. And I think they've more than enough in the tank to get over the Kildare challenge. But Kildare will be tricky for them because Kildare still have the likes of Daniel Flynn, Jimmy Hyland, Kevin Feely, Kevin Flynn, Paul Cribben. Really, really good players. Derek Irwin as well. Jimmy Hyland. I don't know if I mentioned him, but yeah, he's an electric forward, Jimmy Hyland. And he was one of the best performers throughout the league campaign. And Kildare showed throughout the league that they can definitely compete with any side on their day. And maybe the game against Dublin in the Leinster final just wasn't their day. But you have to factor in as well that Croke Park is a big pitch. They beat Dublin and Newbridge on a small pitch. They beat Mayo in 2018 and Newbridge on a small pitch. They don't have the Newbridge comforts this time. And yeah, I'm going to go with Mayo to get this victory, which then brings me on to the All-Ireland Hurling Championship, which is the two John McDonough Cup teams. facing off against the two teams that finished in third place in the provincial championships in the All-Ireland Hurling Championship. So, of course, Antrim, the champions of the Joe McDonagh Cup, of course, what a game that was against Kerry. They were 5-22 to Antrim, 4-24 to Kerry. One of the best finals that I've ever seen, period, in terms of scoring. Like, where do you ever see a scoreline like that? It was absolutely bizarre without extra time as well. And goals seem to be flying in every 5 minutes. So for Antrim, considering the fact that they conceded 4-24 to Kerry, going in against Cork, whose forward line is so dangerous. I mean, you're talking the likes of Shamie Hannity, Patrick Horgan, the all-time championship top scorer, Shane Kingston, Shane Barrett, Alan Connolly is, you can put him down for a goal pretty much every game in the championship so far. Connolly Han against Waterford was an alien. He was so good. So, yeah, it doesn't bode well for me for this Antrim defence going up against Cork. They just have so much firepower up front. Antrim have some serious forwards, the likes of Kieran Clark, the likes of Neil McManus, the likes of Conor Cunning, who can really cause Cork some problems back there. Sean O'Donoghue looked really impressive against Waterford as well. So, it's just, they have turned a bit of a corner for me. Cork, they found their best team. And yeah, I'm going to go with Cork to win this one pretty comfortably. Same in the other game. Kerry go up against Wexford. You see, with Wexford, it's actually more tricky when I talk about it, because Wexford do have this trend of playing at the level of the team that they are playing against. I mean, they drew at Westmeath and then went and bet Kilkenny in the next game. So it doesn't really make sense to me, Wexford. I think they're going to win this game against Kerry. I think Kerry have shown they were massively over-reliant for long periods anyway against Antrim. They are massively over-reliant on Podge Boyle and his free-taking. And Wexford, I think, will not be as ill-disciplined as Antrim were. And they have more firepower up front than Antrim do. So, like Rory O'Connor, Conor McDonald, the form they were in against Kilkenny, Lee Chin looked back to his best as well. So I'm going to go with Wexford to win. But if any team could be caught, it's Wexford, because Westmeath caught them and they tend to drop their level. So if Wexford get complacent, I do think Kerry could catch them, but they really shouldn't, and they really should pick up the win. So I'm going Cork to beat Antrim and Wexford to beat Kerry. Briefly on the minor football championships, I've been really impressed with all four teams. I feel like Tyrone, Kerry, Cork, Derry, I'm going to go with, I don't know, it's really hard now. Tyrone have such a hotbed of talent there coming through. I'm going to go with Tyrone to beat Kerry, and I'm going to go with Cork to beat Derry. They had a really, really impressive victory there over Kerry in the Munster final. So I'm going to go with Cork to beat Derry. And then the fact that Kerry lost that Munster final quite heavily, I'm not going to back them to bounce back. I'm going to go with Tyrone to beat them. Which, of course, then brings me on to the LGFA action, which is taking place over the weekend. The first game in Group A, Round 1, is Mayo against Tipperary. And this one is a really interesting one because, obviously, Mayo had that game in the league semi-final there where they were up at half-time and they got turned over. It'll be hard to see if they can pull back the momentum from this, but I just think Tipperary, with the players that they're missing Ashley Maloney, their full forward, who's absolutely key to them. They're missing Orlo Dwyer. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Mayo to win this one. I just think the likes of Sarah Rowe, they have a lot of power up there, up in the forward line. And I'm just going to go with Mayo to get the job done in this one. The other game in Group A, Round 1, is Dublin against Cavan. Now, obviously, Dublin fresh off reclaiming the Leinster title by beating Meath in that final, of course, which is a much-needed victory for Dublin, of course, the All-Ireland final defeat and then losing to them in the round-robin stage. But it's a massive victory to beat them in the Leinster final to re-establish some sort of dominance over Meath. Definitely not dominance. It's definitely the rivalry that will define this period of ladies Gaelic football. And with the Vicky Wall move, I was very relieved to see that she's still going to be playing for Meath, because that would be a hammer blow if they were to be without her, because she's so crucial to their whole system. And if she was gone, it would just be a shame for the championship in general. But yeah, going into this game against Cavan, I don't see anything else other than a Dublin victory, to be honest. I think we're in really good form. We've got the likes of Lindsay Davey back in the side there, like the likes of Caoimhe O'Connor there's firing for Dublin. Hannah Tyrrell looks really good too. So yeah, I'm going to go Dublin to win this one. And then moving into Group B, Round 1, Monaghan play against Meath. Of course, the reigning All-Ireland champions going away from home for their opening game in Group B. Look, I'm going to go with Meath to win this one. Monaghan do have some flash players, but they were absolutely ripped apart by Armagh coming towards the end of the Ulster Championship. I think it was Ulster semi-final. They just got torn limb from limb by Armagh. So I can't see them coping too well with a forward line with the likes of Stacey Grimes, Emma Duggan, Vicky Walls. So I'm going to go with Meath to win this one comfortably enough. Moving into the other game, Donegal against Waterford. I've been really impressed by Donegal in the league campaign this season, in the Ulster Championship as well. They were very impressive. Coming up against Waterford, I don't think Waterford are going to have enough for them, to be honest. I think, look, in terms of the players, like Donegal had the likes of Geraldine McLaughlin, they had the likes of Yvonne Bonner. So they just have a bit more talent about them, Donegal, and starting off the championship off the back of a very impressive league and also championship. I'm going to go with Donegal to win this one. And that's the opening game in Group D. And then the final one, the opening game in Group C. I don't know why, but they have them done out weird on this side. Group C, round 1, Galway against Kerry. This is a very interesting one because Kerry have the likes of Louise Moore-Hertig there in the forwards. And when they played each other the last time, it was very, very tight. Kerry, like, it's a really hard one to know. They're a bit inconsistent for my liking. Galway have some serious class players as well. And obviously, as I mentioned, the last encounter between these two sides is very interesting. Galway got the victory that day. And I'm going to go for the trend to continue actually this time. I think their defense is very solid. Louise Moore-Hertig won't get the same space that she managed to get in previous games in the Munster Championship and in the league especially. So I'm going to go with Galway to win that one. So yeah, that is my predictions. I can't wait to watch this in a few days and see how wrong I was. But yeah, as I'm sitting now here on the Wednesday, that is who I'm backing to win these games. Let me know what you thought. If you think who's going to win whatever game, get your comments in below on who you think is going to win what game and tell me how wrong I am. But either way, what can we know? We're a few days away. A lot can change. But yeah, that is the preview. I hope you enjoyed. Until the next one, guys, take care.